We're going to continue with our lesson series on learning how to read the Florentine Codex. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next page. This is page 13, and this is the next day. Yesterday we did Nahuatl. Today we're going to do Chicomecoatl. Okay, so again, my goal is to do one a day in order to learn how to read classical Nahuatl. Now, the research shows, those of you who are following along, research shows that you want to know probably about like 80 to 90% of the words on the page, okay, in order to properly understand it. And so if you know 80 to 90, then you'll achieve fluency. You'll be able to open a book and just read it, And part of it is, of course, the vocabulary acquisition. We're repeating it and repeating it over and over, and so we're acquiring vocabulary. That's the most effective way of doing it. And this is called comprehensible input. That's the most effective way of learning a language, by listening, by speaking, or in this case, by reading, and trying to figure out what are the words that we don't understand. Fortunately, we have this English translation here, right? And that helps us a lot. And so that's why it's so beneficial, to use the Florentine Codex. If you don't have this English, translation, it'll be a little bit more difficult. So it makes our job much easier. But I hope that you can see there's so many recurring themes. It's becoming possible now. If you're following along, I hope that you're feeling that. But I'm certainly feeling that. Okay, so let's go on to my modernized. And once again, this is not like completely modern using like a modern script, because the modern scripts are even better than this. This is just like a classical Nahuatl script that is better than the Florentine. It's a little bit more legible. So, Inik Chicome Capítulo, that's the Chicome 7, so the 7th chapter. We're still in book 1. Okay, the 7th chapter. Unkan Motenewa. Here it is expressed. In Cihuateotl, about the female teot or Cihuateotl. Initoka Chicomecoatl. And that means, of course, it is her name, Chicomecoatl. Okay. Now, I want to remind you, Nahuatl is ungendered. So this E right here, this could be he, it could be she, it could be it. So it's really the context that tells us what the gender is, and it's telling us here it's a female. Okay, so it's she. Her, it is her name. Her name is Chicomecoatl. Chicomecoatl, by the way, means seven snake. Seven snake. Chicomecoatl is a very important deot to the point that she has survived to the present day. Okay, a lot of Nahuatl speaking communities, they continue to give offerings to Chicomecoatl, and I mean, just really elaborate ceremonies, okay, to her. And so she's a very, very important deot for people who have continued the agricultural tradition mostly. Okay. So you've got Chicomecoatl, Yewat, Ipan, Mishewaya. Mishewaya. Okay. Let's try again. Chicomecoatl, Yewat, Ipan, Mishewaya. Ki Miship Tlahtiaya in Tonacayotl. Iwan insaso tlen inenka iolka masewali in ia in koalo. Ooh, all right, that was nice. So let's go ahead and see what that sentence means. Okay, so it says she is seven snake. She, this is the pronoun, by the way. They don't use a lot of pronouns in the classical Nahuatl. Pronouns were not very common. If you talk to like modern Nahuatl speakers, they use them more often. And that's mostly due to Spanish influence, right? Like if you say yo yo me llamo, they'll say na, na, ni toca, or na, no toca, sorry, na, no toca, if it's Huasteca, or Nehuatl, no toca, if it's a central variety. And they tend to kind of put pronouns in front of everything, which is not typical, as we can see, right? This is only like the second or third time we've seen a pronoun. So this is important note on pronoun usage, okay? It is not required. It is not required. It's only if you want to kind of add emphasis, okay? If you don't already know for sure who the subject is, and so that's why they decided to add that here. So she, ipan in, let's see, pretends to be someone else, okay? So, and when she pretends to be someone else, that sounds kind of funny. Let's check. Ipan probably has multiple meanings. Ipan. There it is. Okay. In the time of, so see, that's the thing too about Nahuatl. That's very difficult. You know, if you're just looking at this dictionary, man, you'll be like, what? How can Ipan mean on, at, in, additional, in the time of, right? I mean, but here, you know, we're seeing it. In modern Huasteca, at least, Ipan is mostly going to refer to honor at. So I think the modern variants are a little bit more simplified, but the classical, you know, had a little bit more diverse meaning, Ipan. So this is going to be in the time of. Okay. So in the time that Chicomecoatl, she pretended to be someone else, or this is Gimishiplatiyaya. Okay. And that is translated as she was the representative of. So when it says that she pretended to be someone else, it's actually meaning she represented, okay, and then she was the representative of. So I think those are better translations than the dictionary translations. What were they? What was she the representative of? She was the representative of in Tonacayot. Tonacayot. Okay. And Tonacayot is a very interesting word. It is actually our sustenance. She was the representative of our substance. Remember the ya specifies past tense, right? So ya, she was the representative of our sustenance. Now, sustenance is just defined as the food that we eat. Okay, it's just whatever food we eat. And then it says iwan, that's and insasotlen, whatever it might be, inenka, the body's means of living and its means of existing. So see, they're kind of saying our sustenance, and then they're kind of clarifying that our sustenance could be whatever it might be for our body's means of living and its means of existing. Okay, so that's a really nice way of kind of defining this word as well. Iolka is sustenance, the Iolka, the sustenance of the Masewali. They're using singular here. Okay, so I don't know why it's not like their, you know, their sustenance, but it's basically if it's singular, it's just this actually means his or her sustenance, the Masewali, the Masewali sustenance. Okay. In Iya in Kualo. This is so interesting because E is the tiniest verb in all of Nahuatl. When I first learned about this, oh my god, it was endlessly fascinating. But it's so short. E, it means to drink. And appreciate Huasteca Nahuatl. Huasteca Nahuatl was like, no, that's too short. So let's add something to it. So in Azteca now, you'll see it like this. Coni. They say coni. It's the eyes here, right? But it's one of those things where if it's so short, it can be confusing. And so they said coni to make it a little longer. So you can say Niconi, Niconi at. I drink water, right? And so it's a little bit more substantial than this. But the ya at the end is what they're talking about the masawali, right? So what he or she drank. And gualo is interesting. This is not past tense. This is actually a tense called the I don't remember what it's called. Oh, I think it's inactive, maybe the inactive verb tense. Basically, they're not specifying who's doing the action. Okay, so it's like in ia in qualo, and so it means when he or she drank and whatever was eaten, whatever is eaten. Okay, whatever is eaten. And so that's the masawali. And so that's a really nice sentence. Let's look at the translation that they put. I didn't even look at it yet. See? I didn't have to look at it yet. Look, we're getting better. This is awesome. This is a good feeling, because it shows that, we're able to understand it just by reading it every day. This is awesome. So it says, Chicomecoatl, this one represented, she was the representative of maize. They put maize, Tonacayot. I don't know. I don't think that's a good definition for tonacayot because it's literally our sustenance. But I mean, I guess they're saying, well, they mostly maize, but I don't know. Men's sustenance of whatever sorts, what is drunk, what is eaten. Okay, so that's how they define that. Okay, so let's go on to the last sentence. This is a very short entry today. The last sentence is ah. Ah means in addition, right? In addition. Iwi is in this way, and in this way, in addition, in this way. And then it says nech chichi oale. So it's possession. I had a hard time finding this word though. I don't know. But they're defining this. See how there's a chichi right here? Chichi. I think that's the red ochre part, but I couldn't find it in any dictionary. Again, the dictionaries, they have like 30,000 entries. That's actually not a lot compared to like the English language, where they have over 100,000 entries in a dictionary, sometimes up to 600,000. And so the Nahuatl dictionaries are not very exhaustive. There's a linguist, his name is Joe Campbell, and he's a very prominent linguist, and he's actually making a dictionary. He's actually been making a dictionary. He's very he's been working on this for a very long time. So he has a very long dictionary, most likely many, many more words than 30,000 than what Molina did in the 1500s, but he hasn't published it yet. I asked him about it the other day. He said that he hopes to publish it, but I don't know when or what. But basically, he's doing what he did. What I'm doing right here is just looking at each of the words and say, oh, this is red ochre. Making a definition with all of these words that are not in it. So her face was painted with red ochre here. Okay, this is the was part. I think this is a part of that phrase because it's ish. Remember, ish is like the face. So ishlau shoale. I don't know what that word is. I couldn't find those words, but that means her face was painted with red ochre. This one is pretty clear. Amakali. Amakali is the word. Let me switch over here because they're using a lot of B's and things. So it's a little clearer over here. But I'll write it right here. It's on the top. So this is Amakali. Amakali means the headdress, the paper headdress. This has the root of amat, which is paper. Amat and Kali, which is, a lot of people say Kali means house, but we can see here it's actually referring to a structure. Kali is the structure. So it's a paper structure. They call it, it's a paper hat. They call it the paper crown. Okay. And then this one is ashochi. Ashochi, that's water flower. Water flower. See what they said here. Ashochi. Oh, that's wipil. Wipil. I think I wrote it wrong. Let me go back. Wipil. I don't know why I wrote it like that. This should be Huipil. Okay, so you're probably all familiar with Huipil. If you know Mexican Spanish, you know Huipil, which comes from Huipili. So there's a compound word again. Whenever we're talking about their dress, there's a lot of compound words usually, but this is her blouse, water flower blouse. She wore a shift with water flowers, or like a blouse, and was what a huipili is. And then the skirt with the water flowers. The skirt, yeah, let me break this all down for those of you who are struggling to see the words. Okay, so right here, the first one, we have a plus a xochitl plus, in Mexican Spanish it's huipil, but in Nahuatl it's huipili. This. And then at the end, the remember the at the end is ownership. So it's her. She has her waterflower blouse. When we're combining words, we do this. We drop the suffix. Okay, these are all the suffixes that you can see are dropped in the word. Okay, and so that's how that word is constructed. A shochi wipile. A shochi wipile. The little H at the end, okay? It's the like a little glottal stop at the end. And then the next one is it said, I think in the translation it said the waterflower skirt. So let's see, let's break that down. So it's gonna be at plus shochi plus also let me copy all of this. And then the only thing we're gonna switch out is this. Skirts. Skirts is wait. So in this case, the TL is dropped. Shochia, I don't know why there's an A there. Maybe there was a mistake in my part. Let me go back. Shochia. No, there is one. So maybe it's just like a water skirt. Anyways, it's so you can see it, the construction here, right? She is the owner of the water flower huipil and the water flower skirt. Wait. The knowledge rules are kind of I'm noticing there's like inconsistency here because usually the second this I here would be dropped, que, right? So like Citlalique, for example, Citlalique, that would be dropped. But I don't know why they're keeping it here. And then the no, I think we discovered no was or, but let me double check. No, that's Huasteca. This is Huasteca. And no, it's not, or it's also. Okay, so also, let me type that in here so we have that in the future. Also. Okay. Also, what she owned should have an H at the end. She owned, so we saw this already. Pozolcaque, that's the foam sandals from Cacli. And then Tonal Chimale, Tonal Chimale, and then the Donatiu Chimale. This is from Chimali, which is shield. So I'm taking this to be the day shield and the sun shield. Let's see what they say. Also, she had foam sandals. She carried the shield with the sun sign and the sun shield. Hmm. So they're translating tonal as the sun sign, and then this is the sun shield. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they're getting that from somewhere else, but usually tonal, this is tonali is either, well, it's usually day actually. So I don't know. Maybe there's a specific design with that name. So this is the end. This is uh, Chicomecoatl. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions or clarifications, corrections. Tlaskamati, uh, Timoitase Mosla. We'll see each other tomorrow.